Yo, 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 it's D.Arthur in the building. I'm talking to you guys today about when you're on retention, it shows. When you're on semen retention, it shows undoubtedly. It shows undoubtedly because becoming, you're transforming into who you really have to be. All this is a healing process, as I've mentioned before. All this is a healing process. Before, when you weren't doing this, when you're consistently relapsing, you weren't healing. Like, realize that if you relapse recently, you are not as optimistic. You might not be as optimistic as quote unquote high vibrational as you were compared to if you've been retaining. This is the bottom line. There's a correlation between your optimistic levels when you go on semen retention compared to maybe PMO, masturbating, releasing. Now there could be a debate, but all this is based off my experience. Everything I'm saying is based off experience. So usually what tends to happen is when I go on semen retention, and I've been coupling that with working out / meditation, my optimism levels for life skyrocketed to the moon. Optimistic in every area of life, very optimistic. The reason why some people are not optimistic is because they may not go on retention. They may not have real purpose. There's nothing more lifeless than a man who has no purpose, who has no real agenda, who has no ideas of what his life can be, what his plans for his life is. There is nothing more lifeless than that, because the reason there's nothing more lifeless than that is because men can't operate that way. There needs to be some sort of purpose. There needs to be some sort of intention. There needs to be some sort of direction that a man has to go to, that a man has to have. There has to be. This is the only way you can see him being his most optimistic, grateful, abundant, authentic version of himself. This is the only way a man can really live his life. If you do nothing, nothing changes. So when you go on retention, if you do nothing, nothing changes. For an example, if you're debating, if you're debating whether you want to go to the gym or you just want to maybe chill and do something else, if you have goals of transforming your optimism for life, and doesn't even have to do with having a nice physique. A nice physique comes with that, but in terms of actually having an optimistic outlook on life, the gym can help you with that, because it's scientifically proven of using endorphins in your brain. The more you sweat and do maybe hard, vigorous activity, after you come down and you feel good about yourself, and this can translate into other areas of your life. So if you decide not to do this consistently, there's a study that shows that you're not using 100% of your brain if you're not sweating. So your mindset is going to be a bit more shallow. You're not going to look things from a very broad point of view. You're going to look at things through a very shallow narrative of life, and these are the results that you're going to get. So people can tell that you're retaining because of the optimism in your life, the sparkle in your eye, the passion in your eye, the greatness that you are delivering every single day. Every single day you're delivering greatness. You're going to there's going to be a lot of synchronicities in your life. Example, today, I recently just saw someone that I haven't seen probably in 8 to 10 years. I haven't seen him since high school. 8 years in the making of not seeing a single person, and then seeing them out of the blue at a place. Now, this world has to be based off energy. If this happens, this world has to be based off energy, energetic levels. The way you get far in life is energy, is energetic levels. is energy. It has to be energy. If you lack energy, you lack vision. If there's no energy behind your vision, you're not going anywhere. You're going to be aimless. You're going to be stagnant. You're going to be hesitant. You're going to be questioning. So, I mean, guys are so, society has sold you so much that releasing is good for you. They say it's normal, blah, blah, blah. But actually, it actually leads to depression if you didn't realize. Especially if you're alone and you're doing it, it leads to depression. You will become depressed consistently doing this because you're literally taking the life out of you. You will be paranoid. You will be living in a low vibration. You will start enacting all of these bad behaviors. Being paranoid, being negative, lacking energy, lacking enthusiasm, lacking a deep bass to your voice, just lacking some of these things that can really help you transcend into a great man. This is the pinnacle of life. So when you retain, people will take notice because you're gleaming with life. If there was an energetic level gauge of what your energy levels would be if you're on retention, it would be skyrocket. It would be over 9,000. You would have super high energy levels, and people subconsciously will notice this off of you easily because you're just so present. There's no such thing as negativity when you retain, because even though all these things are happening, you might have a shield. You might have a shield that you have to defend yourself against any negative attacks, any beta attacks, any attacks that make you think that you are less than you are. This is the bottom line. This is the best thing that you can do for yourself. You can retain, and you can continue utilizing good habits, continue projecting your life in a way that you want it to be, and eventually you're going to get there. There's no time limit on anything. There is no time limit on anything. Things can take forever, but at least you got to where you wanted to be. There's no time limit. You are on nobody's clock except your own. Just because someone got married at 30 doesn't mean that you won't find love at 35. That doesn't mean anything. Just because you're someone that you know is doing well doesn't mean you won't be doing well either. Just because they're doing this doesn't mean you're on. Real alphas are on their own clock. Betas have to be on someone else's clock because they can't manage their own time. They can't manage their own time. If you give them free time, they're going to use it to waste. They're going to waste their time. The dudes who have real purpose use their extra time to increase their life. They have to do this. This is the only way they can actually get ahead. This is the bottom line. When you retain, you're going to become your most optimistic, authentic, greatest version of yourself. Then this is the only thing that you can do. Relapsing is a disgrace. It's a disgrace because now you're only sabotaging yourself. You're sabotaging your future self. You might have to pay. All I'm saying is, like, if you really want to live a super optimistic life, then retention is your friend. Working out is your friend. Meditation is your friend. Having concrete plans and visions and habits and maneuvers every single day is your friend. Success is attainable. Success has to be attainable. Success happens when you've consistently built in routines, processes, and systems to acquire said action. Even if you don't reap, even if you're not reaping the results now, if you have a system in place, eventually you will reap. So what else is there to it? People are too impatient. People see that you're not winning now, so they have to call you out on you're not winning. Little did they know that winning and waiting to win comes in seasons. All of this comes in seasons. There's a season where you're winning, and then there's a season where you're waiting to win. There's not pessimistic people. Beta males are gonna realize that the time to wait to win is also known as losing, and there's no such thing as L's. There's only lessons. You just have to spin it in a way that favors you. Look at life, your entire life, like this. you will get ahead. You have to look at your life through the most optimistic lens. People might call this delusion. People might call this crazy, but they're actually crazy because if they are co-creating their reality and they're only talking about what they see with their physical eyes, then they will stay stagnant and they will always stay in the same place forever. But if you this wasn't a book, but if you can see success in the midst of failure, you will succeed. If you can see abundance in the midst of lack, you will succeed. This is what you will attract because now you're acting upon it. But all 95% of the reality looks at their reality and thinks this is how it will always be, and this is why they will always lack. This is why they will always lack. This is why they will always lack. With that being said, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you utilize retention and utilize the gym combination. This will make you just be a very frightening person because of the amount of confidence that you can gain. With that being said, like, comment, and subscribe.